All right, and welcome. So we're going to go over the MCurve. So if you haven't gotten it installed, go to Edit Mode, Preferences, and hold on. And where it says Get Extensions or Add-ons, you can go ahead and click Install from Disk. Look for MCurve version 1.0. And it should say MCurve here if it's installed, or it should be checked in the add-on section. Then once you have it installed, it will be in the panel bar over here. If you don't see the panel bar, go ahead and press the N key and go to where it says MCurve. So MCurve is basically using a curve as a metaball. So for instance, this says add MCurve full, which will add the MCurve setup. And this is add MCurve empty. So once you get used to it and you know how to set it up, the empty one becomes quite versatile. So let me explain. Once we click it, it will add the MCurve. So if we click on this curve and go into edit mode and start moving it, we'll be able to adjust the curve of the metaballs. And this is simply here for representation. You can add to the curve, or you can start your own curve. Whatever makes you feel more comfortable. You can scale up the curve, or you can scale down the curve. As you can see, it gets lower the bigger it gets. You can rotate the curve by pressing Control T. Also, you scale by using, let me see, I think it's Alt S. Yeah, Alt S to scale, Control T to rotate, and you can make horns pretty easily with this. So this is the object that the curve is using for itself and its shapes. This is the main metaball that is controlling the resolution of everything. And the main metaball is parented to the M control. So M control, once we click it, we can see it appears here. It has the curve, which will be the MCurve, and it has the metaball. This is the metaball which adjusts its shape, and it will change to its shape, and it will act accordingly and blend with all metaballs under the same name. This is the count. If we reduce the count, you can see it reduced the amount of metaballs that's all blending together to form their shapes. So if you wanted to do something like this, you can. GeoSwitch, that will show geometry for the curve. So in case you're doing a negative, you can turn on GeoSwitch and still be able to see the curve as you cut through objects. And resolution for the curve and radius for the curve. You can adjust those once you turn this on. So another thing that shows up here is mirror mode. If you want to have a proper mirror, then you might want to turn on bisect X. I left it off just in case. And when mirror is selected in the modifier area, you can adjust the mirror here. You select this, you'll be able to change what you're marrying. Right now we're marrying the main metaball, M-ball. All right, so for this to work, for the M control, I'll show you how it's working. Under relations, no, never mind. Under instancing, if we have vertices selected, aligned to vertex normal, and that's pretty much what you need there. And we have parented the M-ball. You can parent either one. It doesn't really matter which one you parent. It just needs to be parented to one. All right, so now that we covered all the basics, let's go ahead and go to MCurve empty. So MCurve empty adds an empty MCurve. So if we want to get this working, we just drag this one over to MCurve empty, hold down the shift button, and that will parent it to this. Once we have the MCurve, we want to select the curve we want, MCurve 01, and select the main metaball, or the metaball we want to adjust, which would be metaball 01. And let's see. It should be well, hold on. We got MCurve and the metaball selected. Should be showing. Let's go into instancing. There we go. So you'll have to turn instancing on. Sorry about that. But I'll fix that in the next update. But right now, you have to turn instancing on. And we can adjust this. I'm curious why this one's still working. Oh, it froze. Okay, so that makes sense. However, we can take this and we can mirror or adjust it to there. So now both of them are working. And I'll probably change that next update where I put the metaball that's being adjusted as the parent object instead. So let's see here. Yeah, take this. Go ahead and there we go. So this version 1.0, there's a lot to be expected to change, but now that you have a basic understanding, I can show you what you can do. So if you duplicate one, it will act as if it's a regular metaball. So whenever you have one of the curves, just a single point, it will only show a single point. And you can adjust shapes. Like, for instance, if we create another metaball, Just duplicate it. We're going to, okay, let me show you the emball menu. When a metaball is selected, the emball menu is down here. This is to add a new metaball. You can adjust the resolution for the viewport, the resolution for the render, the influence threshold, the update, always, half, fast, or never. You can change the shape. So if I want to change that to a ball, I can change the ball. I can change the stiffen and the radius from here without going into edit mode. I can change it to negative. I can hide it, and I can adjust the dimensions. So we changed it to negative. We're going to go to MCurve 001, and we're going to select emball 2. So now this is negative. It looks like it's not working until we put it through here. As you can see, it creates a hole. If we adjust the scale, we can see the hole more clearly. So you can carve out of your metaballs. So if I just create another one, just the scale, just start carving, duplicate it. Duplicate it again. Adjust the scale. So that way it creates a smaller hole. There we go. And then if I want to make the hole go through to the other side, just extend it. And there we go. We got a hole going through the other side. So just like that, you can curve. If we go back to this one, we can start adding more to it. So if I duplicate this, just the size, or hold on. Let's make sure we're in the right one. Okay, it's kind of lagging. If it lags like that, just click on the metaball and then enter into edit mode. You might want to work one at a time with the M curves. There we go. So let's go ahead and okay, that's why it's not updating. We need to parent. There we go, and refresh it. Now it should be updating properly. Yes. Okay, so yeah, make sure parenting is set up. Now we can, there we go, duplicate it and start adjusting it and adding it back to the negative spaces. So you can do a lot now with metaballs, and MetaCurve gives you a whole new avenue to explore. And the possibilities are endless, and it's only $10, so it's affordable. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Let me go over one more thing. When we have metaball selected, this is where you can add metaballs. So if I click here, I'll add a spear. And you gotta be careful when you're adding metaballs because they can, when you scale them up, it can reduce the resolution and change how everything's being adjusted. But you can adjust it like that. And I change the radius. To avoid that, you can simply scale it from the outside. And it will take some practice and adjustments until you're comfortable enough using it. But this is how you can use the MetaCurve. And let me show you how you can build upon. So for instance, say I wanted to create a curve here and I wanted to extend it up to create some nice shapes. Start a new shape, extend it down, bend it over, and wrap it around. And keep in mind, it's still keeping the hole visible. You can just build upon the shapes, and it works great for big shape mock-ups. It doesn't work so well with fine, refined detail. So if you're going for big overall shapes, this is perfect. And besides that, you can just add in more shapes, add it in a capsule. So you can combine it with metaballs. I sure it's on the right side. And get proper shapes. And these add the standard metaballs just to help you out. You want to add another capsule? There's another capsule. And you can just keep blending it. And when you're done, let's say you're done making it, go over to MCurve, go ahead and hit the bisect X. And this one is where you will apply. Apply both. And there you go. You got your object. And you just have to, for your main metaball and your adjustment metaball, you can move them out of the way, or you combine them with the shape that you're making. So as you see, we made a pretty interesting shape. You don't want to do that until you're done. All right. that should cover everything for the MetaCurve. So if you have any questions, go ahead and comment below, and I'll get to you whenever I have free time. All right.